Hey guys, my name is Shrikant Rathod and I am an EmSAT instructor. Today I am going to discuss a very important topic called algebra as per the Ministry of Education UAE. So I am going to brief you about what are the topics are included in the algebra and along with the few sample questions. Alright, so let's start. These are the topics in algebra as per the MOE curriculum, that is as per the EmSAT Math. Basically, EmSAT Math Algebra is the major topic for the test, and this focuses only on the basics like arranging the expressions, solving the system of equations or the solving the linear equations in one variable, two variable, solving the algebraic identities or any other expression involved in it, and with the simple word problems and so on. So today I just want to discuss the few of the sample questions which has been provided as per the MOA, that is the Ministry of Education for the EmSAT. So this is the one question what it is here. Question says what is the solution set of the following equation. So this is the solution. What is the solution set? It means what is the value of x to make this expression is equals to true. So that is called the solutions to the set of equations. So how do I solve that? So to solve these questions I need to have some basic rules, because this is a question relating with the exponents and the roots. So what are the rules I need to have? Like here, the first identity I can write it as a to the power m times a to the power n. This can be written as a to the power m plus n. This is the rule of exponent. Second rule, I can write a to the power m divided by a to the power n can be written as a to the power m minus n. And the third rule, I can write it here as a to the power m to its power n can be written as a to the power m times n. That's m and n, it's getting multiplied. And the fourth rule here is a to the power negative n can also be written as 1 by a to the power n. So these are the rules what I required to solve this equation. So, and another important thing I tell you, let's take a to the power m is equals to a to the power b. It means if their bases are same, I can equate their power. Here is, this is called the base and these are called the power. So this is the base and this is the power. If their bases are same, we can equate their power. So from this one I can say the value of m will be equal to value of b. So then only those expression will be equal with each other. All right, so let's solve this question what they are saying. So 4 to the power x square plus 4x is equals to 2 to the power negative 6. So look at here, to make an exponential use I have to make the base here to be same, but base here is 4 but here it is 2. I can't just equate their powers as it is. So this 4 can be written as 2 square, right? So 4 can be written as 2 square. Then what I do, instead of 4 here I can write it as 2 square to the power x square plus 4x is equals to 2 to the power negative 6. This side I am doing nothing. So now as per the third identity, power and that power can get multiplied. So this expression can be written as 2 to the power 2 and this entire expression will be getting multiplied. 2 to the power, I can write it as 2x square, because you have to multiply these two with the entire bracket here, this power. 2 to the 2 times x square is going to be 2x square plus 2 times 4x is going to be 8x. This is equals to 2 to the power negative 6. Sorry, it's not a 16, it's just a 6. Okay, 2 to the power negative 6. Now look at, in both the case the bases are same, this value and this value here are same, so then I can equate their powers. Now 2x square plus 8x is equals to negative 6. I can do it now. Then what else? This is converting into an equation of a quadratic. So this can be arranged as 2x square plus 8x. When you take this minus 6 to the other side, then it becomes plus 6, or you are adding plus 6 on both the side to cancel this term, right? So this get cancelled, so it's going to be 2x square plus 8x plus 6 equals to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation, and I'll tell you, as a calculator is allowed, you can just use this equation to solve this equation as a calculator. you have to use a scientific calculator operation. That is, first you have to press on the mode which is available on your calculator, then you have to press it on the 5, that is the button, then after pressing that 5 you have to press it on the 3. So if you press mode 5 3, automatically calculator takes you to the quadratic equation form, and then you just need to include the coefficients of the x square, coefficient of x, and the constant term. That is, if I am comparing with the general expression, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, and c are the constants, and a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. Coefficient means a number or the letter which are present along with x square or x and so on. Alright, so this is how we do. Now let's solve to our expression. We got this expression. This, what is the common in this expression? 2 is the common, so I can divide this entire expression by 2. If you are dividing this entire expression by 2, then your expression becomes 2x square by 2 plus 8x by 2 plus 6 by 2. It's not necessary to do individually, but I'm just showing, like, I'm just writing for your understanding, better understanding purpose. So 2 and 2 just get cancelled, then it left with x square. 8 divided by 2, that gives you 4, and x as it is, plus 6 divided by 2, it becomes 3, equals to 0. This is the quadratic equation what we got. Now how do I do that? How do I solve this one? Now I can solve it by either by splitting the middle term or by factoring, or I can use the the quadratic formula, or the better we can use the calculator as I told. So this all calculation is won't required if you are using a calculator. So now I can split this middle, I can write the factor of this expression as, what are the two factors of this expression and how do you decide? The coefficient of x square will be multiplied with the constant term, that is 1 times 3. 1 times 3 gives you the result here as 3, but when you add them 1 plus 3, you should get the number here as 4. This is what we are looking as the number here, right? So let me just go here to the down. So this 4 can be written in this way now. So that it becomes x square plus, I can write it as 3x plus x. 3x plus x gives me the result as 4x plus 3 equal to 0. So what is the common? We can take x is the common from this one. We left in the bracket as x plus 3 plus, there is nothing common between x and 3 except 1, because the 1 is the factor of all the number. Then I can take 1 as a common out, then it becomes x plus 3 equal to 0. So this we can say x plus 1 times x plus 3 equal to 0. So to make this entire expression equal to 0, either your this term should be equal to 0 or this term should be equal to 0. That's we say x plus 1 equal to 0 or x plus 3 equal to 0. So I'm looking for the value of x. So just subtract 1 from this both the side, or we can also say take x 1 to the other side to arrange to find the value of x. Then this gives x equals to -1, and also take 3 to the other side. Whenever you shift from the one side to the another side in the equation, sign of that number changes, so the positive becomes converted into negative, so it's going to be -3. So the two values of x I am getting here as, one is -1 and one is -3. So look at to the option which one has the value as -1 and same as -3. So option C is the correct answer to this question. This is how you solve. But for exam purpose of you, so it's not necessary to solve this in an entire way like how I did, but I just shown you how it works. For exam, after just deciding what would be the factor, that is 1 and 3 are the factor, you just need to do like this, x, then you have to write plus 1, and then again you have to write here plus 3, equate it equal to 0, and this is the step what you need to follow. After that, just you will be getting the value of x as -1 and the -3 how you got here. All right, so this is the way of working, but calculator is allowed. I suggest you to go with the calculator, and so that you can complete it on time. All right, this is the concept behind this. All right, Let's take to the another question here. They are talking about identify the quadrant when the sum of the complex numbers this and this graphed. Now, what do you mean by a complex numbers? In maths there are like two types of numbers. One number is called the real number, that is it includes the decimal, fraction, integer, positive, negative and so on, and that's what we deal with our everyday life. And another type of number is called a complex number, and the complex number is used only for the specific studies, like if you are studying for engineering or any higher studies in mathematics, there it will be used. But here MOE just checking your knowledge or the basic based on the complex number. So the general form of a complex number here is, we can say it as a plus bi, where a is the real number, b is also a real number. Real means any number, negative, positive, decimal, fraction, anything. But I is an imaginary number. So what do you mean by imaginary? Under root of negative number it's called an imaginary. So square root of negative number it's called imaginary number. Imaginary. And the value of imaginary number I term, what is its value? I value is going to be square root of -1. So this is how we need to know about the basic of complex number. Now when we are plotting a complex number in a xy plane, they are talking about the quadrant. So they are talking about the which quadrant this is going to be. So it's same like a quadratic geometry. So let me draw a, a quadrants to represent the complex number. This one always I represent as an quadrant x. This is gonna be imaginary quadrant, that is we say I. This is gonna be negative x and this is gonna be negative I. Y axis we represent in the complex number as an imaginary quadrant or the imaginary axis. X axis is same as this, and this point we say it as an origin, so always represent 0 comma 0. This is called the first quadrant, this is called the second quadrant, and this is called the third quadrant, and this part is called the fourth quadrant. In the first quadrant, both the value of x and the imaginary they should be positive, means both the value of x and y are positive. In the second quadrant, the value of x is negative, but y is our imaginary number, here it's going to be positive. In the third quadrant, both the value of x and the imaginary value both are negative. And in the fourth quadrant, the value of x is going to be positive, but the value of x is going to be positive, but the imaginary number is going to be negative. The sign, I'm talking about the sign, whatever those values, but their sign are positive, negative, based on this how it works. Now they are saying what is the complex, add like sum of the complex number and which quadrant it represents. When they are talking about the sum, then just do 3 plus 2i, add the like term 6 minus 4i. When you add the like terms, what happens? 3 plus 6 is gonna be 9, plus 2i minus 4i, it's gonna be minus 2i. It's basically minus 4 plus 2, right? So the quadrant what I'm looking here is the value of x is positive and the value of y, that is imaginary, it's gonna be negative. So x is positive and the imaginary is negative. Which quadrant I said? So I said the quadrant as 4. Value, their sign is x, sign of x is positive and the sign of imaginary term here is negative, no matter whatever the number in front, we are just checking the sign. So x is 9 and y it's gonna be or imaginary number is gonna be minus 2i. So this is something like this. If I'm saying this is the value of x here, something something something, this is gonna be 9, and this is the value of y, I can say as or imaginary, I can say it as minus 2. This is the point what we are talking about. This is the point, and this point we write it as 9 minus 2i. That's what we got an expression, and this corresponds to the quadrant 4. So answer to this question is C. This is how you analyze and identify which quadrant the question belongs to, right? Let's go to the next question. Question number 3 here is, write the expression below in simplest form. So this is square root of negative number, and as I told, the square root of negative number is an imaginary number. If you try to put this as it is in your calculator, the calculator shows error. Calculator shows error, or in so undefined or the syntax error. It means this is cannot be solved by calculator because it's an imaginary number. You can put the calculator in the imaginary mode, you can solve if it is that option is available with your calculator, or if not, how you can do this. The square root of negative 300, I can write it in this way as square root of negative 300 can be written as square root of 300 times negative 1. Yes, I can write it. Negative 300 can be written as 300 times negative 1. So this can also be written as square root of 300 times square root of negative 1. And I told square root of negative 1 is basically the I. The square root of negative 1 value it's gonna be I. Then how do I simplify it? Square root of 300 can be further written as, so 300 can be written as 100 times 3, isn't it? So 100 times 3 into square root of negative 1. So 100 times 3, I can further write it here as 100 can be written as 10 square, 10 square times 3. So 10 square is a perfect square number. So this perfect square number and this root will get cancelled for it. Then becomes 10 root 3, and the value of I it's gonna be, so square root of negative 1 it's gonna be I. So your answer should be 10 root 3I. So which is the option corresponds to that? 10 root 3I or 10I root 3. That is again answer to this question, it's gonna be C. Okay, let me tell you, you might be getting confused here why I'm doing like this, because as per the exponents and the roots rule, you are multiplying root A times root B can be written as under the same root, A times B. After multiplying this number, if there is some possibility to take the some common factor out, I can take out. If it is not, then we can keep it as it is, right? But remember, root A adding or subtracting with another root value, you can't write same as root A plus or minus B. Okay, this is not allowed, this is allowed. So that's what I am following, the first approach to get the value here. All right, let's go to the next question here. What you may expect here with this is y square minus 3y is equals to 9, it says. When they say the y square minus 3y equals to 9, this is the question number 4 we are solving. So you can arrange them in a quadratic equation form. That's y square minus 3y minus 9 equal to 0. This is already in the simplest form. I can't simplify it further. Then what I can do, as the options are available in this way, you can use your calculator. You can use your calculator to solve for this. You will be getting the different answers, or you can solve this question by using the quadratic formula. So what quadratic formula says? X equals to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac, this entire thing divided by 2 into a. I'm writing this rule based on the general expression, that is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Based on this I'm writing. So where a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant term. Now compare this equation with y square minus 3y minus 9 equal to 0. Now you might get confused here. Here I am writing here with x square, but here they have given here with y square. Where x or y just are the variables, I can use any variables, not only x or y. I can use m, I can use n, or I can use other variable. You just need to look at in the form. If it is available in the standard form of what the quadratic equation says, then I can use the quadratic equation. So here, according to that, so what is the coefficient of y square here? Here it is a, but here is nothing written, means there is nothing, means the value of a here is gonna be 1. The value of b here is x value, the number along with x here is b, but here it's along this is gonna be negative 3. Then the value of b it's gonna be negative 3, and the c value here I can say it as negative 9. Now substitute these all values accordingly into this and check which is the answer. Value of b here is going to be negative 3. This negative sign is already there. Negative 3, what I write here, plus or minus square root of negative 3 square minus 4, value of a it's gonna be 1 and the value of c is gonna be negative 9, right? So value of c here it's gonna be negative 9 and this entire expression divided by 2 times 1. So simplify it. So minus of minus is gonna be plus 3 plus or minus square root of 3 negative 3 square it's gonna be 9. Here minus 9 minus 4 times 1 it's gonna be minus 4, minus 4 times 9 it's gonna be minus times minus is gonna be plus 4 times 9 it's gonna be 36. This divided by 2 into 2 into 1 is that's 2 itself. Then next, how do you simplify this further? This is gonna be 3 plus or minus square root of 36 plus 9. What it's gonna be? 36 plus 9 it's gonna be 45 divided by 2. So but look at to the option, 45 is not an option. So how you can write 45 further? How you can simplify 45 further? 45 can be written as 9 times 5, right? 9 times 5 it's gonna be 45, or this can also be written as 3 square times 5. So 45 I'll be replacing in this way. Why I'm doing like this? Because the option is not available. I have to convert my expression or the final answer based on the what option has been given. So this is, I can write it as 3 plus or minus square root of 3 square times 5 divided by 2. Now look, this 3 square and this square root cancels, only relating with 3, not with 5. Okay, so because 5 is not a perfect square number here, this is equivalent to 3 plus or minus, I can take a 3 as an out, then the square root of 5 divided by 2. 3 plus or minus 3 root 5 divided by 2. Which one is the answer? 3 plus or minus 3 root 5 divided by 2. That says your answer is B. Alright. So after getting this step itself, you can ignore the value of A, that is the answer choice A, and answer choice D. Why? Because they are containing I terms and our answer cannot be I. So your answer is either B or C. And to get the further value, we know that the value of B here has to be positive, but here they have given here as negative. That's why this cannot be the answer. So your answer is gonna be B. This is how we solve. Let's go to the next question, that is question number 5. Question says, for her phone, Halima pays a monthly fee of 18 dirhams and she pays an additional 5 fills per minute of use. The least she has been charged in a month is 71.90 dirhams. What is the minimum number of minutes she has used on her phone in a month? So that's, we have to calculate how many number of minutes she spoke, right? So you can observe carefully here, the amount they have also given in terms of dirhams and also in terms of fills. So while making of use of, either you have to convert the entire amount in terms of dirhams or you have to convert that entire amount in terms of fills. You can't use them as it is. So we know that 1 AED, 1 dirham is equals to 100 fills, or I can say 1 fill is equals to, that is 1 divided by 100, that is 0.01 dirhams. So that is how we convert. So now let me translate this word problem into an expression. Whatever the total amount she paid here is 71.90. So 18 dirham is her fixed charge, plus we are finding how many minutes she spoke. Let's consider she spoke for X number of minutes and each minute charging her 5 fills. The total amount what she, the charged for the X number of minutes, it's gonna be X times the 5. So because 5 is the per minute charge, 5 fills is the per minute charge, then I can write it as these fills, I have to convert it in terms of dirhams, that is 5 fills, it's basically 0.05x. That gives you the total number of minutes or the total cost what they charge for speaking apart from this 18 dirham. So that total cost gives her as 71.90. All right, so as I need to solve for x, what we can do here is just arrange the like terms. So I have to subtract negative 18 from both the side. So this 18 and 18 just get cancelled out. 0.05x is equals to what we gonna get here, the 17.90 minus 18, it's gonna be 53.9, as it is the calculator question. Now as we are looking for x, divide by 0.05 on both the side, 0.05. So from this one you will be getting the value of x as what is the 1078. So we can say she spoke for a total of 1078 minutes, and that's the answer, 1078. Alright guys, that's it for today. In the next video I'll be discussing about the other topics of the EmSAT math. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon for the more updated videos. Thank you so much. All the best.